Well, hello, how y'all doing? It's a beautiful sunny day out here, as you can see. I'm going to talk to y'all. Just going to be like a part 2 of a video I did about a year and a half, 2 years ago, about taking care of a sick spouse. Okay, so I did a video a couple months ago. My husband with a kidney transplant. He needed a kidney. And also too, when he was cleared to get a kidney, he got a disease called Legionnaires Disease. And he was in the hospital for about 12 days, and then he was in rehab for about 10 days. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot to take care of someone who is ill. So when I get home, I will talk further about it. Deuces. We're going to head right to the crib. Okay, now I am home. Like I was saying earlier in my car, I talked about caring for a sick spouse, and I also talked about caring for a ill parent, which is my mother. But today I'm going to talk about my spouse again. So, like I said, it's a lot of question marks and conversations and trying to drill it through the thick skull of a person who's ill, or what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. I talked back in October with my husband last year in 2025 when he got sick with Legionnaires Disease. His entire left lung was covered and half of his right lung was covered with these spores. It's if you don't know what Legionnaires Disease is, it is a form of pneumonia, but he got it from a hot tub. A hot tub he was not supposed to be in. He went on a conference he had to go to. He does it every year. He go to a conference like for the weekend or whatever, and then they go to this conference on a Monday morning, and he come back home like on a Monday evening or Monday night or whatever. But he got into this hot tub, and then that all his appointments that he has to go to, I take him to his appointments. He just don't listen. He don't listen to doctor's orders. But then when I'm the kind of person, when I listen to you, I'm going to listen. I'm going to hear every syllable, every word you say. And I'm going to, I take mental notes, and I remember everything you said. Okay? I don't know if that's just the woman in me, the Virgo in me, both. I don't know. But I remember everything. Okay, from verbatim, we're gonna put it like that. So several years ago, my husband had to get a fistula put in his arm because he's on dialysis. He's been on dialysis since 2021, so it's going to 5 years now. He's been on dialysis, and he's in desperate need of a kidney. But it all started from really his mom, who never said anything about her having kidney issues. But also, he had this protein they say that men have. It's a protein that attacks their kidneys. So that's why he has to be on dialysis until he get a kidney transplant. Now, back in September of last year, he was cleared. I went to all his appointments. Doctor said this, that, and the other. You're good to go. We give you the green light, A+, fist bump, everything, ready to go. That was in September of 2025. I posted a little video about that on here last year. Then in late September 2025, that's when he went to his conference. And whatever that last Sunday was in September 2025, that's when he went to the conference. And he came back the next evening, that Monday evening, everything was fine. And then that Wednesday, he texted me saying, Denise, I'm going to walk to the car. I'm just not feeling well. I feel something's going to give out on me. So I was like, what? So his boss called me and said, I just sent, your husband to the car. I done him off early. He said he's going to meet you at your car because he said he's not feeling well. So I said, wow. So then we went to go eat. And the place was kind of, it was October, early October. It was still kind of warm outside, but not, kind of, how the weather is. So it was kind of warm. For me, it was kind of warm, but for him, he was like shivering. He was at the table shivering. So I said, you know what? Let's go home. No. I'm fine. I'm fine. I said, no, we need to go home. No. So, we finished our food. I get him home, and he just wasn't right. So I remember when we left work, I told him I was going to take the next day off with him, to stay home with him. And he was like, Denise, no, go to work. I said, nah, because something about you ain't looking right. And I'm glad I stayed home with him, like I said, because he was on the bedroom floor. He could not move that next day. He could not move. So, but then to fast forward things up, like I said, he was in rehab. He was in ICU. Then he went to rehab because he had to learn how to really walk again. So, and then when he was in ICU, he was seeing things, he was saying things, and he was actually believing these things. He was saying there was a suitcase hanging off the wall. You know, you be looking like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, then he kept saying, I was sitting on the edge of his bed, right? I was sitting on his bed. Then I got up and I went over to sit on the couch that was across from his bed in ICU at the hospital. And then I was sitting on the bed and he started screaming. So I was like, what the hell was going on? He was screaming and he said, there's a man with a funny hat and a mustache on my bed. Get him off. Get him off. I'm looking like, okay. So I didn't know what was going on. The doctor came in there and said he's hallucinating really bad. It was just a lot. And like I said in my previous video from 7 months ago, he did have, he did go into cardiac arrest. When the doctors called me to tell me about that, and of course it freaked me out, it spooked me out. Then we had to, of course, they had to resuscitate him. So, and they say when you go into cardiac arrest, you can lose memory. You can lose a lot of your brain function for a while. Because I think he was out for about 3 or 4 minutes. So now, like I said, he's very forgetful. I mean, when I say forgetful, I mean short-term and long-term memory. I could talk to him and say something right now. It's like 10 minutes to 5. Okay? At 5 o'clock, he wouldn't know what I just said. He wouldn't know. He couldn't remember what I said to him just 10 minutes earlier. Like when we went out, his birthday was this past weekend. We went out for his birthday to go see the movie and went out to dinner and stuff like that. And I kept telling him what time we were leaving the house. Because we had reservations for dinner. I told him we got reservations at 5:30. We're going to leave the house around 5 o'clock. He said, okay. 10 minutes later, what time are we going to leave? I said, we're going to leave at 5 o'clock. Okay. 5 minutes later, what time are we going to leave? I said, leave for what? He said, leave. To go. You said we're going to go to dinner, right? I said, yeah. He said, what time are we going to leave? I said, we leave it at 5 o'clock. So I'm getting frustrated. But I'm telling myself, like, I got to be patient because his memory it's all out of whack. It's just not, it's all out of whack. It is. It's all, it's gone. It's really messed up. Like today, I'm on my job. I'm at my desk. I'm sitting there, and my phone was going off. I said, what's this funny noise on my phone? That was my doorbell ring camera going off. So I turned the microphone on, and I was talking to him. He was on the front porch, and I was like, what's going on with you? What's up? I forgot my keys in the house. So my daughter had to come let him in. Because I wasn't going to leave the job. I'm sorry. That's just too much. If I leave the job, I'm staying home. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to drive back. I know I'm not doing that. So, I mean, he's very forgetful. And then last week, he forgot his car keys at the job. And I had to drive him to his dialysis appointment. And then I had to pick him up. That's a 4-hour, he's there for 4 hours. So I had to keep my clothes on and drive up there to go pick him up. He's very, very forgetful. He's slow. He's not like he was. He's slow when it comes to a lot of things now. So he walks slow. He kind of talks with a rasp in his voice now. Because when he was in the hospital, they had those breathing tubes down his throat. They had 2 big ones and 1 small one down his throat. And they thought he had a stomach bleed back then, but it was actually his esophagus was bleeding. So now he talked like with a kind of like with a rasp a little bit, you know. So it's a lot. Taking care of a spouse that has problems, that's ill. So the only thing I can do as his wife is to be there for him, like I have been. I mean, he does piss me off. I ain't gonna trip. I ain't gonna sit up here and excuse the piss off part because he's sick. Okay, no, because he again, he doesn't listen. When I told him about that fistula, that the doctor told him, like, no, you cannot, if you're gonna swim or get in like any body of water, that thing got to be covered up. It has to be like airtight. You can't just jump into a lake or a pool or hot tub, whatever, with that darn thing in your arm. He didn't listen, and he got sick. So what I told him, I said, that doctor who put that fistula in your arm, I take him every 3 months to get it clean. Every 2 to 3 months to get it clean. And I told him, I said, you know, that doctor said to you, that thing got to be wrapped up before you get in any body of water. I don't remember that. Of course you wouldn't. The doctor said that. Yeah. And see, the one doctor said they think he breathed in the spores, that it didn't come through his fistula. But I was like, you know, he was in a hot tub with these two other coworkers of his, the 2 other guys. They didn't get sick. He got sick. And again, because he's more susceptible to getting sick because of his illness. So I knew the phone call was coming. He was at ICU. They called me and said he's off the kidney transplant list because he was too sick. So now he was trying to get back on it, but he got to go through a whole battery of tests again. It took him like 2.5 years just to go through all these different type of tests, whatever, just to get on the kidney transplant list. And then I guess they denied him again, something with Medicare or something. It's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. So that's where he is right now. He's at dialysis, and I'm telling you, taking care of a sick spouse it's a lot of work, or a sick person, period. But in my case right now, a sick spouse. Yeah, he's very, very forgetful, and trying to talk a little sense into him or whatever. It don't even matter, you know. He stumbles a lot. You know, I catch him sometimes. He stumbles. He's not. It's like it's hard for him to stand too long. So it's hard on him. So all I can do is pray that he will some way somehow heal. I don't know, but I was hoping he'd get this transplant. But when he got sick, I think he would have had a transplant by now if he didn't get sick with that Legionnaires disease in October of 2025. It's rough, I'm telling y'all. But anyway, I'm gonna finish drinking my my stuff here. Yeah, that's just part 2 of taking care of an ill spouse. Yeah, it's a lot, y'all. Anybody out there taking care of your ill spouse, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I ain't making this stuff up. Yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, he's very forgetful. He forget everything. Yeah, a lot of stuff. But anyway, you guys take care. Let me stay out the way, and let me go and get myself ready for a Thursday tomorrow. And I will talk to you guys at a later date. My next video will probably do a little bit of home decor. Just some simple stuff that I got for my home. Something I've been trying to get for the past like 2 years. And it kept slipping my mind. And I said, Denise, get it. Just get it. It's simple. Get it. So we'll talk about that in my next video. Y'all take care. Let those stay out the way. Deuce, deuce.